exciting. You know, we obviously love challenges, so obviously having LA who scored high number in that preseason game, so just excited to have her back. She's versatile on defense. She can obviously get, you know, to the rim quickly. She's athletic, and she just has a good way about her, and she also has a really killer mindset. You know, I remember drawing the needs for her at the end of the game in our preseason game, and she was just like giving me this, I'm gonna say like a Kobe mentality stare, and I'm like, you want to smile? You know, it was our first preseason game, so I was trying to crack jokes, and she was like, no smile, and I was like, okay. So yeah, just kind of glad to have her back.
I just want to ask about Kate Martin. Last year, she, I think 70% of her shots came from behind the arc, and this year it seems like she's really cutting towards the hoop a lot more. Mm-hmm. How have you just kind of seen that evolve from her as she's become more of a cutter and a driver?
Yeah, Kate's been working, you know, a lot in the off season. We talked earlier about what she should be working on, and she's just, again, openness to just not just shooting threes. And again, it's just the way we play, making the right reads. So sometimes it is about holding space, but sometimes if a team is like overplaying and tight, then we're going to look to cut. So just, again, credit for Kate, and then credit to her teammates for, you know, finding her. Yeah.
And oh my God. Two-parter on Leticia. One, is she kind of full go tonight? You're going to have her on a limit. And then two, a tough cut in training camp, but was she always on the back of your guys' mind to bring back if there's a spot?
Yeah, that's a good question. No, she's full go. She's been working out on her own, and so I know it can't replicate too much of a game, but she says she's been playing pickup, so that's really nice because she has that rhythm. And she knows us. We actually showed her the playbook all last night, and we reviewed it again, so she's ready to go. And then, yeah, she was someone that, you know, when we had to make those difficult cuts, like she was right there around the cusp, so this is kind of like, you know, a great coincidence that she gets to come back and help us win some games. Yeah. Gotta wait and be patient. I know.
I have two questions for you. Number one, how do you evaluate turnovers? Mm-hmm. And number two, you hear the overarching phrase basketball IQ. How do you evaluate basketball IQ in a player? Like, is it something that you see them doing at a really, you know, low level that doesn't really pop off on film or anything like that?
Yeah, so the turnovers, you know, first of all, like, no one wants to turn over the ball. So I do give all of our players, like, that pass of, like, I don't care about mistakes, you know, as long as you don't do it twice. But it's the live ball turnovers that really get me. So if it's things where, number one, if we're unorganized, then I put it on me and the point guards. So that would bother me. And then secondly, if it's a live turnover because you're trying to make an amazing pass or a simple pass, then that bothers me. But other than that, like, if teams are pressuring us and, like, we're just not connected, I'm fine with that. So again, we're trying, we're still building, and so I'm definitely still open. We only had 12 last game, so that definitely helps. And then in terms of IQ, I judge it based off of a lot of things, actually. Number one, do they pick up our schemes, you know, on the fly sometimes? Because sometimes I'll change things within the game, and I want to see if they can literally, like, apply it, you know, just with the timeout. Sometimes it's through the board, like in practice, if I draw something that they've never seen before, how quickly can they pick that up? And then sometimes it's through film. I'll challenge them. I challenged them 2 games ago. I'm like, look, I'm going to put a play in just through film, and let's see if you guys can pick it up. And they did. So, yeah, everyone's passed the test, you know, but everyone has different learning abilities, and that's what our coaches are really great at, is that they can see what the players can digest and what's the best thing. Like, it could be sometimes just a reminder text, too, that always helps them.
Coach John W. Davis with the Southern California News Group. Nice to have you back here in Los Angeles. Can you kind of talk to me about this? This is the 3rd time you're playing this team in just a matter of a few weeks. I know the rosters are different, but, you know, as a coach, how do you approach the strategy and the chess that you can kind of get into now, knowing that, like, you kind of know what they're doing, you know, they know what you're doing, and that kind of aspect?
Yeah, like we always talk about, like, a new game is obviously a new test, but, like, it's all for us. It's control the controllables. It's we can control our destiny. As crazy as that sounds, but that's what I told them before Vegas. Like, if we just stick to the game plan and we're organized, then we're going to give ourselves a great chance to win. And so it's the same thing. There is no carryover though from Vegas. Don't get it twisted. Like I said, look, this is a brand new team. This is a different team. This is not the Las Vegas Aces. So what are our controllables? What is our game plan? And we got to execute. So yeah, we're communicating. We had high energy, but that don't carry over to today. So we have to make sure we bring it. And I think the best thing the players did from the Phoenix game to the Vegas game is they held each other accountable. And that's what I love seeing right now.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach. Deshaun Haylock with the broadcast. In terms of Veronica, what has allowed her to be successful in your system? And then a separate question, as far as three-point field goal attempts, is there a number that you want to be around for your team throughout each per game?
So for V, just again, V's one of the hardest workers that I met. She just loves to put in the time doing the extra. Like, I have to kick her out today, I had to kick her off. I'm like, look, there's LA traffic, we have to go. So I was literally like buzzing the whistle at her a couple times. But Jen, credit to her, like, she always wants to get better after a game, loss or win. How can I get better? What can I do? What do you see in that? And so those type of players are always going to grow into your system and just become effective every single game. And your second question was how many threes? There's no number. It's take the quality threes. So it all depends on what the other team is going to do. Are they switching 1 through 5? Are they in 1 through 4 coverage? Are they blitzing? So it kind of all depends on what type of defense we're going against. And then obviously if we can get some stops, we would love to shoot wide open threes in transition. Like, those are nice rhythm threes for us.
I'm just going back to what you were saying about turnovers and ones that you don't mind as much.
Yeah.
I think you guys lead last time I checked, lead the league in travels, and some of those in the Phoenix game were obviously not.
7.
Yeah, not to your preference.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of curious, how do you evaluate those, and how do you kind of see why those have been a little bit of an issue?
Yeah, I mean, I brought it up to the league. I brought it up to, because we get to evaluate the refs. And, you know what I mean? Again, we're all learning. We're all trying to be better. Last game, it was 2-0. So we got 2 travels and Vegas got 0. But I told, and I'm mentioning it just out loud, like, those are big possessions. You know what I mean? They're taking away 7 more possessions than us. And when a Phoenix game came down to the wire, like, I would love to have those 7 possessions back. You know what I mean? So I think as we're growing and we're evolving, the travel is our point of emphasis, but I think it has to be fair in terms of how many are called, and timely calls. Like, sometimes they're just called like at the very end of the game. Well, that's nice that it called, and then we're trying to we're actually, it was a Minnesota game, we're trying to come back, and they're calling a travel once we just made 2 threes. So it's like, is that really the time? So I think just for the overall game, I know y'all want to see like big shots and like the skill set of these women. Like, let's kind of let the game flow a little bit and have a little bit more game awareness. That's what I'm hoping for.